Welcome to Lightboard Learning, where we discuss coaching principles. Today we're going to discuss an imbalance in the back squat versus the rear foot elevated split squat. So before we get into this, I just want to give you guys some context. It's our goal to have at least body weight in the back squat, and it's our goal to have at least 33% in dumbbells per hand of body weight in the rear foot elevated split squat. So let that sink in for a second. So we have a massive imbalance here relative to the rear foot elevated split squat. This client is 180 pounds and he can only rear foot elevated split squat 8 RM, 30 pounds per hand. So we're looking for 60 pounds per hand. So he's about half of that. But he's a very strong guy, right? He has a big back squat. He's almost double body weight. So if we're looking at structural balance and trying to progress this guy for, let's call it the next 5 years injury-free in knee flexion and lunging, I would focus on the rear foot elevated split squat. So I wanted to give you an idea of what a priority cycle or priority day within a cycle would look like to fix this imbalance. And we're going to bring it over here for that. So what we have is A, we'll just call this, so the things that should stick out for you guys is A, B1, and C1, right? So this is just the full body resistance day, but it's starting with a priority. The priority is a split squat. So think about this as the compound movement of the day, right? So A is compound, split squat at tempo, 10 per side, 4 sets, okay? Now we go down to B1. Let's call this the accessory piece for the day, right? So when you think of accessory, think about that exercise is an accessory to the compound movement of the day, right? So you want to bring up the compound by using an accessory movement. So we're going to do that with a body weight rear foot elevated split squat. So let's say that he failed this test because of control, right? He got to like 5 reps with 40 pounds and he just couldn't control, right? So when we swing over here, we're doing body weight rear foot elevated split squats at a 4-1-1-1 tempo to elicit what? Control. Right? So it wouldn't make sense if I said, okay, he has a very low rear foot elevated split squat. I'm going to make that exercise my A or priority for that day. I want to just get strong in the pattern with the lunge, and then I want to add an accessory to elicit some control in this exact pattern, and we're just doing that with body weight. So he's practicing the movement. Then we go down to C1, and let's call this auxiliary work. So we have accessory, which directly impacts or brings up the compound. And then we have auxiliary that just kind of adds a little bit of fluff there to increase, let's call it strength or muscle endurance or control in the quad. So we're just gonna go to lunge pulses, right? So lunge pulses will be done at 1-0-1-0, 30 to 45 seconds per leg, and we're just getting blood in that quad. That's it, right? Then we're switching legs, we're doing it again, and that's the end of the session after C2. So you can kind of see is it goes compound, accessory, auxiliary. So I would run a phase like this for, let's call it 6-8 weeks, right? And you can kind of see, how this would progress over time. On A, the goal would be to increase intensity or increase load over the 8 weeks. Maybe at week 5, you do an exercise selection shift, and maybe you go a barbell rear foot elevated split squat. That's kind of up to you and how your client is progressing, but we'll always keep that compound as A. And then B1 is always going to be an accessory to that compound. And then C1 is going to be an auxiliary movement to that compound. So let us know how you would progress this imbalance in the comments below, because remember, there's no one right way to do it.